Happened once, and when my battery died in the middle of an interview, I actually lost the interview. So I'm going to come and reintroduce just so we have.
Okay. But let me tell you what it is. It's the Kansas Historic Route 66 Association.
Okay.
And the only reason why I have to tell you to put historic in there is because Scott owns the Kansas Route 66 Association.
Okay, Kansas, and the sign there says that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. So, we'll do this again.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm good.
Hi, welcome back to Celebrating Culture. We're here in Galena, Kansas, and I'm with Renee Charles, who's the president of the Kansas Historic Route 66 Association.
It's nice to meet you, Charles. Good name there. Good name.
Great name.
Yeah.
A great name there. So you're having a lot of fun, a great barbecue today.
Oh, yes, yes. These are our friends. These are the Missouri Route 66 Association, and we love them all. It's like family. Well, of course, anybody that travels 66 on a permanent basis are roadies, and we're all a family.
Perfect. Okay, now I'll be back behind here.
Alrighty.
So, all right. So we're looking good again.
Good.
All right. So fill me at Kansas is doing a great job with bringing back Route 66.
Right. So we have three cities or three areas where Route 66 flows. We only have 13.2 miles of Route 66 in Kansas, but at 13.2 miles is packed of history and fun things to see. So here in Galena, Kansas, we are a mining town, or was a mining town. Galena is a form of lead. I could give you so much history on our town. We're the only place where Route 66 was shut down for martial law because we had a strike just right around the corner here on our original route of 66. They had a miners' strike, and so martial law came in, shut down 66 in our whole town. This is also where Michael Wallace started when he brought the Pixar crew through, and we have the original tow truck that inspired Tow Mater in the movie Cars. We have a gentleman from Riverton, Kansas, or Lowell, who could turn his feet completely backwards. They call him Dean Walker, Crazy Legs. He was the inspiration for Mater driving better backwards than he does forward. Building across the street has some ghost riding that inspired Welcome to Radiator Springs, a happy place. So we really emphasize on that. Our council, we have a wonderful council and mayor for the last 10 years, have decided to redo our main street. Our main street was pretty much like a lot of the 66 towns. It was a ghost town. And so since the movie Cars and the rejuvenization of 66, they realized that we have a gold mine and we need to participate in bringing that gold mine to everybody. And that's the old alignment of Route 66. So Galena is one of the towns. Riverton has the old Eisler Brothers store, which has been there for hundreds of years. He's on the National Historical Register. The road going behind us here, it's the original alignment. It's on the National Historical Register because they used the mining tailings to pave the road before 66 was here, or before they named it 66. And then we just have several places. The place in Baxter Springs that is the Phillips 66 Welcome Center station, that's on the Historical Register. Our Brush Creek Bridge, which everybody knows as the Rainbow Bridge, it's on the Historical Register. So we have a lot of things packed into a small section, 13.2 miles.
Tell me about Mickey Mantle.
Oh, Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle played for the Whiz Kids, which was in Baxter Springs and Galena. I mean, baseball is one of our big things here. Our kids, as you can see, we're a small town, so baseball is one of the big deals. So rumor has it, I'm pretty young, so I wasn't around then, but Mickey Mantle was playing in Baxter Springs against the team, and their baseball fields were close to Spring River, which is one of the rivers that feed, I believe, into the Mississippi. But he was playing there, and he actually hit the ball so hard it went into the river. And at that time, there was scouts here that saw him, so he played locally as well, but he's from Commerce, Oklahoma. They got him they got his house set there. They got a statue of him there. So Commerce, Oklahoma is a place you got to visit too.
How far is that from here?
That is probably 30 miles, if that. It's not that far, really. Pitcher then to Commerce. So Pitcher is a town that was undermined so bad that the federal government took it back over. So
that's almost the next town.
Exactly,
out of Kansas.
Right out of Baxter is Pitcher, and then after Pitcher is Commerce. So.
And in Baxter again, tell me about the lady with the car collection.
Oh, there is a lady that just bought out 2 years ago. Bought out a section, like a whole block of Main Street, which has the historic cafe on the route and Little Brick Inn, and she is opening a car museum. She had the car museum opened up. She had to close it down during the COVID, but I believe she's opening it back up, and it's outstanding. There's all kinds of cars in there.
And the food, Baxter's got a lot of dining as well.
Baxter has a lot of dining. They've actually increased their dining. They've got a new fire grilled pizza pub that's on 66. It's outstanding. He's working hard on that. They've got several barbecue places, and then of course Cafe on the Route.
And you're behind us. You're putting a place where people can go put their pictures in.
Yes, it's kind of funny. I call it the one-stop photo op shop, but actually it's an old building that was falling down, and my partner with me at this building owned that building, and I said, hey, let me have that building and do what I will, and so we did. So we've got the sheriff's car, which is signed by Michael Wallace on the driver's side door. We put it up on a pedestal because that's where Michael Wallace deserves to be, is on a pedestal. We have Luigi that's half in, half out of the building. That car was donated to me by a gentleman from FEMA who was driving, and he said, hey, are you the crazy woman with the car? And I said, I guess so. And he said, well, I got something for you. So I came out of cars, and actually in the back of his truck was this little Fiat, no motor in it, and so he said, it looks just like that Luigi character, doesn't it? And I said, yeah. So we got Luigi down there. We've got Frex, the miner. He's a man-made muffler man. He's over 19 feet tall, which makes him a muffler man, I was told. And he is named after my grandfather, whose name was Melbourne John, but his nickname was Frex because he was a redhead like me and had tons of freckles, so it's short for Freckles. So Frex, and he was a local miner here in the tri-state mining area.
And tell me about your sister.
Oh, well, do I have to? So my sister is Melba the Mouth, and she tells everybody she was named the Mouth because she talks so fast and everything, but she was named the Mouth when Pixar came through after Cars 1 and was wanting to do Cars 2. They came and did a documentary here, and they talked to her, and I said, you're not going to get out of there, you know, real quick. And so I was standing in there, and she kept saying, make her leave, she makes me nervous. So I left. Well, when Pixar called back and said, you know, what's Melba's name? What do you call her? And I said, call her Melba Jean the Mouth. And that's actually what they call her on the documentary, which I love because she hates being called Melba Jean. But she does talk really fast. She just talks a lot. Yeah, a lot. So that's my sister. Myself, her and two other ladies, Betty Courtney and Judy Courtney, were the ones that started Cars, or 4 Women on the Route. So Betty passed away, and Miss Judy and Melba sold their share to me, and then I had to get a partner to help me because, you know, nobody makes any money on 66 unless you're big time. So I got a partner who's a man, and he said, I really don't want it to be called 4 Women on the Route because, you know, I'm a man, so, and we don't look good in pink. But anyway, he bought half or bought their shares, and he restored it again and brought in the parade truck, restored the Bordello, which is across the street, and several other buildings here in town. So he's a very good man. He doesn't like for me to say his name because he's one of those that don't like to brag, but yeah.
Now, a gentleman, you may have covered this already, I don't know, maybe we're repeating, but the gentleman that can turn his feet, the inspiration for tow driving backwards, can you say it one more time? Yeah,
the gentleman named Dean Walker, who's from Riverton, Kansas. He, at the time when Pixar came through, he was the president of the Kansas Historic Route 66 Association. And Michael said, Dean, I want you to meet me on the Rainbow Bridge. And Dean said, okay. So Dean showed up on the Rainbow Bridge. This story's from Michael. Dean showed up on the Rainbow Bridge, and Michael said, Dean, show me what you could do. And Dean goes, look what I could do. And he really does talk like that. He can turn his feet completely backwards because he's double jointed at the knees. So Dean is the reason why Mater drives better backwards than he does forward. He said he was so blinded by the cameras from the Pixar crew taking pictures of him that he couldn't see for at least 10 minutes. So, but he is a character, and he is one of the inspirations.
Okay, and then do you know like the origin of tow, like going back pre them discovering it here, what tow was doing around?
So this building was completely abandoned. My boss, who was Betty Courtney's son and Judy Courtney's husband, had this building, And the boom truck, which is Totator, we call Totator, was parked against this brick building over here to the south with this boom all the way up, and it had trees growing up through it. And when Pixar came through, Michael said Joe Raft, who passed away before the movie came out, was standing there staring at it. And Michael said, "Boy, that truck's got character, don't it, Joe?" And Joe said, "It sure does." And so it inspired him to make Tomater. So we call him Totator because a young girl here in town, we had a contest, and one of the young girls here in town called him Totator because that's what we call our potatoes, is taters. So it's Totator.
If somebody wants to know more, is there a website?
There's a website. There's Cars on the Route website. There is Kansas Historic Route 66 Association website. We're on Facebook as well, so you can look it up on Facebook, or you can just punch it in and you can read about it anywhere on the internet.
Okay. You stay there. I'm going to come in and sign us off.
Okay.
Renee, I want to thank you for being on the show. And the hospitality of Kansas is just beautiful. And just
thank you.
The patriotism, too. The gentleman up the street,
oh, yes.
He is a serviceman. His shirts, he really is patriotic.
Yes.
And I find that when you're driving Route 66, there's a lot of patriotism.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, this is our country, and we love it. And 66 is part of that history. And so, yes, we especially in the Midwest, I feel, because I've been to California, I've been to Florida. I think in the Midwest, we're more patriotic. I am a wife of a veteran. My son is a lieutenant in the Air Force, and I have a son that's a MP in the Army. So we have a lot of service members, especially in this area, that join, and that's what they do. They join and serve their country, and we're very proud of that.
Yes, we are very proud, and they really do. And what I didn't learn about Route 66 till I drove it was how much it played in the World War II.
Oh, yes.
And many of the servicemen were driving to get to California to go deploy on Route 66.
And hitchhiking their way back on 66, yeah. And especially if you go up near the Fort Leonard Wood area in Missouri, you find that, because that was a way that they moved gear or moved equipment from one place to the other was 66, and 66 is right there. So, you learn a lot about that. So if you ever go up toward the Fort Leonard Wood area, you can even go on base. They have all kinds of historic pictures of 66 being restored or being done, and how the troops used it so much. So.
And the other thing that happened was after the war, it seemed like some of the troops had their families and they put their kids in the car to show the kids their journey to California. So that was part of how it became famous in the 50s, was these young babies are now the serviceman, the veteran wants to show his kids.
So my sister, my brother, and I, my mom raised us. She was a single mom. My father's family lived in California. My mom was from Joplin. So we traveled to see his family maybe once a year. And my mom loaded us up in a little Volkswagen Bug, and we traveled 66 from Joplin to California at least once a year. So we got to stop and see the large dinosaurs and the TP Hotel and the Petrified Forest and, the Grand Canyon, because my mom was that way. So when you get older, you kind of forget those things. But like I said, my husband was in the service. We was stationed in Germany. My best friend is German. She's from Karlsruhe, Germany. And when she met me, she said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Joplin, Missouri." And she said, "Oh man, you live on Route 66." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I do, And it didn't really hit me until we came back. My husband got out of the service. I worked right down the hill from here, and I saw how many people would stop and take pictures in front of the signs. Or in Kansas, we paint our shields on our roads, so because those 66 signs tend to disappear occasionally. So we paint the sign on the road, and so there would people be actually laying on the road, and somebody would be stopping traffic while the other one was taking pictures of somebody laying on the road. So I thought, yeah, these people are crazy, and most of them were foreign. International people, which is fun. So yeah, you do realize that after a while.
You got me motivated.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna let this truck pass. Renee, you got me motivated. Now I've spent 10 weeks on Route 66 this year, but I've not laid down on the road yet. So.
Oh, you got to. You got to. Somebody's got to take a picture of him laying by a shield on the road here. Okay. Yeah, you got to. You got to. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Celebrating Culture.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoy that.
That was fun.
I hope it wasn't too much.
No, it was great. It was great. Thank you.
Let us know.
Okay. We'll do.